So I've been watching this show called The Expanse. It's this sci-fi show, and humans have inhabited like the whole solar system. And there's this war going on between these people that work in the belt, mining stuff from asteroid belts, and people that live on Earth and people that colonize Mars. And there's this dwarf planet called Ceres that lives in this asteroid belt in between Mars and Jupiter, and it's kind of like a jumping point, base for the belt civilization. Now, they're communicating often between these different places, like Ceres is going to communicate to Earth, and so thinking about these communications that move at the speed of light, how long does it take to get a message from Ceres to Earth or Earth to Ceres? So I looked up, and on average, right, the Ceres to Earth is going to be different depending on where they are in their orbits. But on average, it's going to be around 312 million kilometers is what I found online. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per seconds. So a couple things I'll have to straighten out is kilometers versus miles. And I looked up and found that 1 mile is about 1.6 kilometers. So again, I want to figure out what is the time for communication by light to travel from Ceres to Earth or Earth to Ceres. So I'm just going to look at the one-way communication. First thing I want to do is change either to kilometers or miles. I think I'll choose to change the kilometers here to miles. So I want to take that 312 million, 1, 2, 3, that's thousands, 1, 2, 3, there's millions. I like commas to make sure I'm writing it correctly. Kilometers, and I'm going to use a conversion fraction to get rid of the kilometers and replace them with miles. So 1.6 goes with the kilometers, and 1 goes with the miles. So this tells me that to get rid of kilometers and get miles, I should divide by 1.6. So let's get a calculator out for that. So 312, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, divided by 1.6 gives me about 195 million miles, okay? So this is about 195, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 million miles. And I'm saying approximately because this isn't the exact relationship between miles and kilometers. 312 isn't the exact mileage in kilometers anyway. All right, so now I know that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to translate that into seconds. So I can use a conversion fraction or a proportion. I'm going to choose to do a proportion this time. So I want time, that's seconds. Seconds in the top and miles in the bottom. And I'm given that 1 second, because that's per second, is the same as 186,000 miles. Okay, so that's given the speed of light. I want to scale that up to be how many seconds for 195 million miles. And I like setting up proportions this way with the missing number in the top, because then I don't have to worry about cross multiplying and dividing. All I need to do is multiply that bottom number up, and that tells me what my missing number is. Calculator. So I'm going to take that 195 there, and I could just use the previous answer button, but I'm typing it, divided by the 186,000, and Desmos adjust with some spaces there. I think I have them typed right. Check my notes. That's right. All right, so I'm getting 1,048 roughly. Let's just call it that. All right, so the missing number of seconds is 1,048 seconds. All right, so I got a good feel for 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 60 seconds, but I'm not sure how much 1,048 seconds is in my life. So I think I'm going to convert that to minutes. So I'm going to jump back to a conversion, 1,048 seconds. And I don't think I'll need hours for that, because I know 60 times 60 is 3,600 seconds in an hour. So it's like a third of an hour almost, not quite. So to get rid of seconds and change to minutes, 1 minute is 60 seconds. I'm going to divide by 60. Okay. Since this doesn't need to be too exact, I'm not going to worry about those decimals there. I'm just going to call it 148. I'm going to divide that by 60. Alternatively, so I could just take the number above by using the answer button and divide by 60. A couple of options. All right, 17.47-ish. So it's a little over 17 minutes. So let's make a note, 17.473. So this comes out to be about 17.47 or 473 minutes. Now, something to keep in mind, that's not 47 seconds, right? That's 47 hundredths because it's a decimal. So if I wanted to know how many minutes and seconds that was, I have a little more work to do. So I'm going to take it a little farther and figure out what that is in minutes. I already got that, 17, but I want to know how many seconds that is. So that 0.47 is a fraction of a minute, 0.47 minutes, and there's 60 seconds in a minute. So I can just multiply that 60 back in to figure out what that decimal is. One way to do that here would be to, I got two options. I'm just going to go to a new line, take that previous answer. I don't need the 17 anymore, so I'm going to take that away. I'm going to put a parentheses around it and then multiply by 60. So that isolates the decimal and says, hey, that's around 28 seconds. Cool. So that's a fun calculator trick there. Otherwise, there's nothing stopping you from just typing 0.47 or 473 and then multiplying that by 60. That works too. 28 seconds. Close enough. And if this number was bigger, I could divide by 60 again and change it into hours, minutes, and seconds if I wanted to, by repeating that process twice to break that down all the way. So I hope this helps with your written assignment this week when you're playing around with Mars and the Voyager satellite. So the Mars is inside of the Ceres orbit, right? And if you look in here, it looks to be like halfway in between. So the Mars answer should be somewhere around half of this answer. And Voyager is way the heck out there. It's going to be much larger in the hour range for the time to communicate. So I just found this fascinating, thinking about the size of the solar system, the speed of light, how long it takes light to travel from place to place. Like, you know, looking up at the sky, we're seeing ancient history in the sky because it's taken the light so long for those stars to get here. Just always blows my mind. All right, take care, do good math.